Does anyone else live at Ruth's home?
Yes. Ruth lives with her husband, Larry Williams.
Do you happen to have a date of birth on Larry?
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't.
Does anyone else live in the home?
Not that I'm aware of.
Now that we have that basic information, I'm going to ask you some questions about Ruth's dependency status. Does Ruth have any physical or mental conditions or diagnoses?
Yes, Ruth has Alzheimer's.
Is Ruth able to make her own decisions?
No, she isn't able to make decisions on her own. She's very confused. She's unable to orient to time, place, person, or situation. The physician has stated that she is not competent.
And who is that physician that made that determination?
That would be Dr. Matthew Brockman.
Do you have any contact information for him?
He works in the ER here at the hospital. He can be reached at 515-555-1166.
Great. Does Ruth have a guardian or a payee?
Her husband seems to make all the decisions for her. I'm not sure if there's anything legal in place.
I'm going to be asking some questions about her daily living skills. If you don't know the answer, just let me know.
Okay.
Does Ruth need assistance with meal preparation?
She depends on her husband for all meal preparation.
Is Ruth able to clean her own environment?
I'm not sure. I would imagine not.
Is Ruth able to get medical care on her own?
No.
Does she pay her own bills?
No, her husband does that.
Is she able to be alone at all? Or does she need constant supervision?
She needs supervision at all times. Her husband has been told this several times by Dr. Brockman and other medical staff. She's not safe to be alone.
Is she able to dress herself or complete her own hygiene tasks?
I don't think so. We're assisting her here at the hospital with these things. She is incontinent for urine and bowel and wears Depends.
Is she able to walk on her own?
Yes, she is.
Okay, thanks so much for all of that information. So go ahead and tell me about your concerns for Ruth today.
Well, Ruth was brought into the ER today by a local EMT. The police were contacted today because Ruth was found wandering outside and did not know where or who she was. She appeared to not be in good health, so police had the EMTs come out, and it was determined that she needed to go to the hospital. When she was found, she was wearing only a nightgown, and she was not wearing any shoes. Her vitals were concerning, and she had some injuries on the body approximately 60 days ago and weighed 142.4 pounds. Upon admittance this time, she was down to 121.7 pounds. We've provided her with fluids, and she seems to be doing better now, but she was definitely dehydrated. I'm glad she's doing better now.
Has Dr. Brockman recommended a higher level of care for her?
Yes, nursing level of care has been recommended, but Larry has refused and states he wants to keep her at home. She could be at home, but she needs to have services in place to provide for her supervision, and Larry has not complied with those services. Larry seems to care a lot for Ruth, but needs help to keep her safe and healthy.
I totally hear your concerns. Now I have some questions to ask you that we ask on every call. If you don't know the information, you can just tell me that you don't know. You mentioned earlier that the police and EMTs were involved. Do you have any contact information for them?
Yes, I do. The officer who responded was Officer Clint Brown with the Anytown Police Department. Their number is 515-555-6538. The EMTs were Kelly Wilson and Robert Moore. I'm not sure what their shifts are, but they can be reached at 515-555-9835.
Thanks so much for that information. That will really help the worker. When will Ruth next have contact with Larry?
Larry is at the hospital now. He's aware that HHS is being contacted.
Are there any concerns of domestic violence within their home?
Not that I'm aware of.
How about any substance abuse concerns?
I have no information on substance abuse.
Are there any language barriers or disabilities that a worker would need to accommodate for?
No.
Are you aware if they have any tribal affiliation?
No, I'm not.
Are there any other supports for Ruth, like family or friends?
They have an adult son, Chris, who lives out of state.
Do you have any contact information for Chris?
Yes, what we have on file is his name is Chris Williams. He lives in Colorado. The phone number we have listed is 720-555-3201.
Okay. Are there any worker safety concerns or anything a worker needs to know about before going to the home?
No, there's not.
Okay. With the information that you provided today, I believe this will be accepted for an assessment. What I will do now is pull some history and submit this to a supervisor. My supervisor has the final say as to whether we're able to send a worker out. Be prepared to provide as much detailed information as possible, including how you know the dependent adult, your basic information such as your name, address, and telephone number, the dependent adult's basic information such as their name, address, and family information, the dependent adult's dependency status,